What's going on, Diamond D? Welcome back to the show, Sports and Hip Hop with DJ Mad Max. As you all know, we have the legendary Digging in the Crates member, Diamond D.
What's up, man? You good?
I'm doing well. I enjoyed the new album, working with Talib Kweli, Gotham. I had On Mamas in the rotation for you, but my personal favorite's got to be Olympic. That rock vibe that you put in that beat was crazy.
Yeah. Thanks, man. You know, just it's kind of has like a rock appeal to it somewhat.
It 100% does. And I remember when Mike Geronimo was on my show, he kind of had a beat that he played for me that night that was an upcoming song that he's going to be releasing soon, which is interesting how hip hop beats are kind of shifting towards, with the legends, more of having a rock feel to it. It's interesting.
Well, you know, like, you know my catalog, I sample all kind of shit. And I guess I was just going through the rock records that day.
The thing about Diamond D is that you still
that's one of my favorites too, Olympic.
Olympic is good. Chillin' While Black, that's an important song. As we all know, we speak out about police brutality. I always stress that with these artists out here. Of course, the legends are going to do it, such as yourself and Talib Kweli, but the younger guys, they need to get on the ball, get on the same wavelengths as you guys were back in the days. Continue that tradition on and speaking out, because a lot of them aren't.
Right. Well, you know, as an artist, you know, you should try to use your platform to speak some kind of truth at some point. We just can't rhyme about bitches and money, you know, for the whole album. I mean, you could if you want to, but I just think at this point, especially in the current climate of this country here in America, you should definitely say something, at least on one joint.
Continue the tradition of not only what you did, but Public Enemy, NWA. It's important in hip hop. It's very important.
I agree.
It's a shame where hip hop is at. You know my stance on it. I sit down with these young artists all the time. Do I like their music? No, but I'm interested in what their knowledge is of the 90s and if they're tapped into what the legends have done in the past. And a lot of them characterize themselves as artists, which is interesting because they're not even rappers.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you know, to each his own. You know what I mean? To each his own, Max.
Yeah, trust me, it gets under my skin in the worst way, but we have the machine out here, which is the mainstream market of record labels running the radio industry, which is crazy. So managers want you to push these young guys that are out here. But at the same time, I think of it this way. How come they don't play Gotham and the Diam Piece 2 on the new at 2 at Hot 97? They could be doing that because it's new music.
It could be. I have to look into that.
Yeah.
What's it called? New Tuesdays?
The new at 2, DJ Enough does the new at 2 at Hot 97. I remember he was on one of my shows, and I told him, I said, why don't you play a Master Ace or play a Cool G rap song for the youth right now? Because that's new to them, even though it's not new music.
Yeah. But I guess, I don't know, like, do they just play new music? So they're not going to play a classic and just say, well, it's new to somebody who's 21. But in regards to Diamond D, I do have new music out.
Yeah. And I know on Friday when I posted the promo, you wanted me to post more of the newer songs, which I did in the second post. But the old song, I went and looked into the hashtag on Diamond D. I couldn't find all the newer songs that you had with the Diam Piece 1 and Diam Piece 2. And you told me they're on YouTube. I didn't even realize you could screen record off YouTube.
Yeah, you told me that. I didn't know either.
I went right on YouTube and I screen recorded, and I was able to get all the new videos up, turn it up.
Good. Okay. Yeah, you taught me something, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either. Yeah,
we're both learning. We're both learning. Yeah. Where's the love? I mean, where's the love from the Diam Piece 1? That's another classic. You sampled Jay-Z's voice on it.
I did.
Classic. In your opinion, do you feel as though the work that you've done now in the 2010s is better than what you did, and even the 2020s right now is better than what you did in the 90s? Because those are considered the classics.
My production is better, you know, as a producer or MC, or even if you're a fucking basketball player, you should always progress. You know what I mean? So my production is definitely better now, or at least my approach to production. When I first started out, I was, using a lot of loops, whereas now it's more programming. But it's subjective. It all depends on how you look at it. But me personally, I think that my production is better now as I've gotten better with time.
And you still bang the beats out on the MPC. That's important. That's another element
MPC
of
and the
hip hop.
motif you see right here.
The motif. There you go.
That's right.
Elements of hip hop, which these young kids don't know. They go on their laptops and they pull up a drum loop and they think they're a producer. I want your opinion on that, just how production has changed and which MPCs aren't highlighted in what the younger generation does, because the elements of hip hop are disappearing. The DJs aren't getting the same spotlight as they once were. It's all radio rotation play, and the producers, I feel as though anyone that I know that's my age can call themselves a producer just because they pull up a drum loop on GarageBand or even Logic Pro.
Well, you got to remember, Ninth Wonder, when he did that work with Beyonce, he was using Fruity Loops.
Mm-hmm.
So I say that to say, doesn't matter what you use, as long as you're creative with it. I'm not one of those producers, from a certain era who feels that you absolutely must bang on an MPC. I believe, you use what's comfortable with you. I came from that era, the MPC era, and I'm comfortable with that. If I was 18 or 19, I might be more apt to use software because it's just more readily and not as expensive as going out there and buying an MPC and having to go digging, to find music. You got producers now who, I call it e-digging. You could just go online and go to YouTube and snatch what you need. Like, it really ain't no rules, Mac. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if you make a banger and they play it in the club, nobody's gonna say, yo, I wonder if he used an MPC or, Fruity Loops. They just want to hear the fucking music. At the end of the day, the music is all that matters. How you get there is subjective. It all depends on the individual and what he or she is more comfortable with, I feel.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with you on that. The Knicks are back in the playoffs. I think you know where I'm going to be going with this, with Best Kept Secret. Anthony Mason, you got to tell me the story behind that video shoot, that music video, because it's legendary, especially in the times of when you look back at the 90s Knicks and the Knicks are in the playoffs after 8 years of not being in it.
Yeah, I actually met him at that shoot. The director, I believe his name was David Perez. I'm not sure. That was a long time ago. He actually brought Mason through.
Wow.
And we shot that video in Midtown on the east side, I think like 36th and 2nd Avenue. It's a park over there. And, Mace was nice enough to come through and grace us with his presence. And we hung out a few times afterwards. Real cool dude, straight dude, Queens dude, straight up and down. Definitely missed. Shouts out to Anthony Mason and his family.
Mason Your Face. And I believe that KRS-One alluded to Mace on I Represent the Real Hip Hop. He had a bar in there. Mace is in your fucking face.
That's right. Okay. Yeah.
Classic. Very classic. And Mace is missed. Mace is missed.
Yeah.
Gotham, I've been pushing it for you on WSU.
Yeah, I see that.
St. John's University, Mad Max Radio. I'm going to be graduating here in a few weeks, so I'm going full on board here on my Live 365 before I can get a real radio job in the industry, which I'm looking for right now. And I've been pushing the album for you, making sure people are tuned in, because when the main thing with me is that, I want the youth to know about what you guys are still doing. Not only what you did in the past, but the fact that you guys are still going and keeping the culture strong, and that there's two sounds out here. You got what the young kids do, but we have what we also do out here is what the legends do, the boom bap.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Exactly what it said on your shirt when you came up to St. John's University the first time. You had a boom bap shirt.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. Everybody can eat. I don't know, fam. Like, if I wanted to, I could do some trap shit.
Oh no, I think you could, because look at Dave East.
I'm talking about as far as production wise.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that. You know what I mean, and still make it a Diamond D track, so to say. But like a lot of producers like P Rock, Primo, Alchemist. Yeah, I'm Knots. I'm just boom bap. That's just me.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with that. And I could be a hater sometimes. I actually had DJ
you gotta watch that. Watch that.
I actually had DJ EFN on one of my shows. I'd say last month. I didn't drop the show yet, the interview that I did with him, and I even told him I could be a hater sometimes, but it's the fact that I feel as though the youth just doesn't respect the greats. Like they'll say, "Oh, big ups to the greats. I'm inspired by this one." They don't sound like them. They don't sound like what you guys did. And I feel as though they just brush it off, and then they'll go around and they'll turn around and say, "Oh, that's a dated sound," and it's not, because you see what Griselda's doing, you see what Dave East is doing. We see that we still have lyrical guys out here that are still from this era,
still pushing the envelope, Right.
I saw that you have some work with Westside Gunn. I remember you posted a preview clip. I don't know if that's going to be on the Diam Piece 3 or another project. I believe it was in a car driving. A car was driving on. You posted a video of it, and it was
that's on my new solo album.
Okay,
that's coming out. It's called The Rear View. I'm gonna drop that sometime toward the end of the year, maybe somewhere between fall and winter, probably fall, late fall. I don't want to put it out. I want to let the Gotham album do whatever it's going to do, and then I'm going to follow it with my solo joint. But yeah, I got Westside Gunn on there. I got Paz the Noose on there. And basically, I'm just spitting with other producers. I got a joint with Focus on there. He's out there working with Dr. Dre. He's been out there for a while. I got a joint with Dre from Cool and Dre. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm really excited about it. And the album's coming out real dope too.
You want to work with Dave East in the future? Because I know you like Dave.
Yeah, I fuck with Dave. Just a matter of connecting the dots. But yeah, Dave is nice, definitely. Bars are up.
Dave is someone he's a monster for Harlem right now.
Definitely.
I was out here calling him the king of New York, and all the young kids were looking at me crazy. I said, that guy's the king of New York right now, because everyone wants to give it to A Boogie, and he doesn't represent New York hip hop for me.
Okay, I'm not really familiar with A Boogie.
Yeah.
Why do you say he's not really a good representative of New York?
Because of his sound, he's too melodic. That's the thing. He sounds too much. Here's the thing, Diamond D. I feel as though that if you're in Atlanta, you can have that trap sound, because that's where it originated from. You can have that sound. My problem is if you're from New York and you copycat that sound, that's not how we sound up here. That's not. Even if you look at back in the day, it's a shame how times have changed down south. Outkast.
Right.
Completely different sound from the trap era.
Right.
I don't know why we can't have that sound back again from down south, but
I mean, hopefully we get another album from Outkast. As far as an artist sounding like their region, you look at Pop Smoke. That's not a classic New York sound, but the shit bangs.
Yeah. How do you feel about the drill movement? You actually like
that's what Pop Smoke does, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, I got onto him late, actually. But I was like, yo, a fan from Brooklyn? You know what I mean? The borough of Jay-Z, Biggie Smalls, Big Daddy Kane, so on and so on. But musically, there's no connection to that certain boom bap sound. And that's cool, because like I said, he made some hot joints, but it definitely doesn't sound regional.
No.
Not at all. But he still was winning, so I respect that. And may he rest in peace.
Yes, may him rest in peace, as well as a few of your other friends, Black Robin, Shock G, especially DMX too. We lost a lot of legends this year in 2021.
Yeah, definitely. Prince Marky D.
That's right, from the Fat Boys.
MF Doom.
That's right.
You
Zev
know
Love
what I
X
mean?
from KMD. People don't always realize that, especially in the youth. You know that, but the youth don't
Right.
know that he was Zev Love X.
You're an exception because you even though you're younger than me, obviously you did your homework, or maybe both. You did your homework and you were just a fan at a young age of that type of sound. But yeah,
Both.
definitely one of the rare ones, Max.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Diamond. And I got to keep putting on for what you guys do because I take you guys the most serious.
Okay.
For my station on Live 365,
Right.
I don't play a lot of that trap stuff. I got to do it from my university because you got to please the
Right.
college audience. But
Of course.
what I do is I play your guys' stuff because that's what I'm most passionate about. I just had OC on the show a few weeks ago. We did a 3-hour interview. And he had a lot of stories to tell. And I heard that he's going to be probably working on one last album.
Okay.
I did hear about
I haven't spoken to OC, but shouts out to O. And whatever he's doing, I'm sure it's going to be dope.
You think you're going to be working with him on it for the last album, production wise, or even rhyme?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
I'll be looking forward to the OC album.
We had one of the best songs on Diam Piece too. That got it covered, joint.
Yeah, got it covered. I told you that because I like Survivor Die. That was my first song right out the gate. There was something about that beat that I liked, but as soon as I started listening more, got it covered, took it away from me. Or even Maintaining with Lord Tariq and Peter Guns.
Right. That's right.
Bodied with David Banner.
I stay busy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's what I do. It's what I love to do. I'm not making millions of dollars doing it, but it keeps me happy. I'm generating income. At the same time, I'm adding on to my catalog.
That's right.
Diam Piece 3 on the way.
And David Bars is going to be on there. I remember you told me at the last time.
David Bars is on there. That's right.
Monster. That's gonna be a good one. Just looking back at the other songs, just looking back at Diam Piece 1 with Jose Feliciano, that song. People need to acknowledge you not only for the beats but the rhymes. That Bela Lugosi bar with Spurts and Power, Nancy Pelosi.
If I die tomorrow, motherfuckers will be like, "Oh, yo, he was nice on the mic." Fuck out of here.
Oh,
I know I am.
Yeah, if you go back to Stunts, Blunts, and Hip Hop, classic.
You caught that Bela Lugosi line.
Yeah. that's the Blood 1930s. Suckers.
Yeah. I mean,
was Diamond D a fan of all those classic monster movies?
Yeah, the wittier the better.
Yeah. What was your favorite Bela Lugosi film of all time? Was it Dracula?
Yeah, Dracula, and then the joint with the werewolf and the mummy.
Oh yeah, was it Frankenstein?
My father, he was a big fan of that, of those types of movies. When he was a child, and I guess it carried over to adulthood because I remember as a child watching it because he was watching it. So that's the only reason why I even know about those guys like that.
Lon Chaney, Boris Karloff.
Right. All of them, boom, right there. The usual suspects.
The classics. And just think those are the pioneers of horror, how you guys are the pioneers of hip hop. And think that horror took its own lane in the hip hop scene with horrorcore. If you look at the Gravediggers, you look at Kool Keith. Kool Keith doesn't get enough credit. This guy had 3 different personas. Dr. Octagon, Dr. Doom, Black Elvis.
And those are all after Ultramagnetic.
Yeah.
So shouts out to my man Keith. Keith gets busy.
He does.
He keeps himself relevant. Got to respect that.
Yeah, he was on my show 2 years ago. We talked about his album Keith, and he's someone that deserves way more credit. Just the way he changed the game and was able to create personas in hip hop. And DMX did the same with Damien.
Yeah, definitely. DMX, he has a new album coming out called Exodus, I think.
Yeah, I saw that's his album released past his death, similar to how Big L's was with The Big Picture.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to listening to that joint.
Yeah. Did you hear about the Big L documentary? I brought this up to OC, and supposedly that it has nothing to do with the members of DITC.
It's not a DITC documentary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I think the people who are doing it didn't reach out to DITC for any of our commentary. Maybe they didn't feel they had to. I don't have nothing to do with it. You know, I don't know if that's Big L's estate. But I know I saw one of your posts where OC said he doesn't support it. Lord Finesse doesn't support it. I don't support it either. But you know what I mean? Who is it? Who's doing it? Mass Appeal?
I'm not even sure who's doing it 100%. I just been seeing it come up on my Instagram feed over time. And
right.
If you guys aren't involved because you are his family in hip hop, right. I feel as though it shouldn't go down.
Well, there it is.
Yeah, but you know, it's a monetary society and people are going to capitalize on anything, which is sad because it's not even going to be, who knows, it's probably not going to be factual to the point because you guys have no input. You knew him.
Right. Well, maybe he won't focus on his time with DITC. They'll just focus on Big L.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know, but you know, life goes on.
Yeah, life does go on. Was there ever a chance, despite your whole discography and who you produced for throughout your career, was there ever a time where you could have produced for the Notorious B.I.G?
I played beats for Big. I went down to Daddy's house and I played him a few joints. He was feeling one of them, but nothing really came about it. And he died maybe like 2 months later.
Wow.
You know, so who's to say? Maybe he would have, you know, wrote to one. I don't know.
I think he would have. I mean,
shouts out to Notorious Big.
Rest in peace. He's one of the greatest of all time. It's not even debatable. I'm really interested in hearing the story of how you felt when you saw that Daz Dillinger put you in his top 5 producers of all time.
I was honored, surprised, you know, because Dad's from the West Coast, but you know, he grew up, or rather came up. We all came up in the 90s, so he was listening, same way we were listening. You know what I mean? So, you know, it was definitely flattering to hear him say that. You know what I mean? And Daz, he doesn't get the credit he deserves.
No.
Nobody in that top 5 does.
No.
You know what I mean? Nobody in that top 5 does. You know, so yeah, it was cool. You know, everybody chiming in on the comments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, you gotta remember, man. You can ask me my top 5 producers today. I'll give you 5. You ask me next week, it might be a little different. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's subjective too. You know what I mean? So whatever. But to answer your question, yeah, I felt honored to hear him mention me in his top 5.
Retaliation, Revenge, and Get Back. That's a classic in the West Coast.
Definitely.
What's your favorite work of Daz Dillinger's?
Probably some of the joints on that first Dog Pound album. You know, I also heard that he produced some of them joints, or co-produced some of them joints that was on Dre's albums. I don't know if that's true or false, but you know, that was the narrative that was going around. You know, and Daz, Daz gets busy. You know what I mean? You know, he definitely paid his dues. What's the joint he did for Tupac again?
2 of America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? So he got bangers. You know, he's worked with some of the best artists in the industry. You know what I mean? And he doesn't get the respect that I feel he's due.
It's crazy because he's not only just a producer, he can rap as well, just as like yourself.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I might reach out to Daz and do a joint with him on my new album. Fuck it, I just might.
You got to make that happen. And Pete Rock can rap too. We saw that on Only Way to Go.
Right.
And not even on Only Way to Go, but I mean, if you go back to Soul Survivor.
Or my second album.
Yeah.
Pains and Strife with Five Dog.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So everything runs in cycles.
It does. I agree
And,
with that.
People were giving Pete slack because Pooh Bah wrote The Creator. But I tell people, yo, Pete wrote his verse for Only Way to Go right in my face, right in the studio.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So he definitely could put the pen to the pad.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know the story behind the creator.
You listen to it. It sounds like Pooh Bah. And it says
You can hear
It says Maxwell Dixon in the credits. I mean, I'm not dropping no news flash.
No. For me, because I grew up in the digital age, I didn't have the cassette and the CD like you guys did back in the day. So I got to go and do the research and learn. And
okay, yeah,
wrote the rhymes behind the scenes.
Well, can you hear the creator in your head right now?
Hey, I can hear it.
Do you hear Pooh Bah?
I can hear him.
Okay, there you go.
I can hear. Once you mention it and you put two and two together,
right?
It sounds like it's similar with Eazy and Ice Cube.
No doubt.
Even though Eazy is a legend in just this persona in the West Coast hip hop scene, how do you feel about ghostwriters? Because we tend to.
Everybody got to eat.
You're right. You're right about that because people tend to go at someone like Drake for he apparently had a ghostwriter on his songs. But what about someone like Eazy-E? I feel as though I don't want to look at Eazy-E having a ghostwriter because we love him too much.
I don't know. You know what Cube said he wrote a Drake for him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, shit, they were on the same team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a certain element of hip hop who will not respect an MC if he does not write his own rhymes. We all know that. Certain cloth out there, they just won't accept it. But then you have others who say, yo, this is a business. If I know my pen game is not where it should be, but I got the money to go hire somebody to help me out and bring him aboard, then fuck it, why not? At the end of the day, it's putting numbers up from a business perspective.
It's all business now, especially.
Exactly.
I think it's worse from when you started. The business factor of it, it's taken over not only just in music, it's been taken over in radio and social media. Now these record labels watch what these young artists do on SoundCloud and Instagram. And if they're doing the numbers, they sign them right to a label.
Crazy. Do. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Can you do?
What would be an interesting story, and I believe that Fat Joe's first record with Pun was Watch Out on his album Jealous One's Envy, which you produced.
Correct.
What was that studio session like? Because Pun murdered that beat.
It was just the way you think it would be. It was definitely a vibe. I sent Joe the beat. Mm-hmm. By the time I got to the studio, the lyrics were done, but Pun was still there, and I mixed the track. Is KRS-One on there too? No, he's on shit. What's the name of that? The song? It's on that same album.
Yeah, he's on the same album. Jealous
same album. I did two on that album, I believe.
That's right.
But yeah, that's one of my favorite joints. With Pun and Fat Joe.
Crazy.
Aside from Twins, of course.
Yeah. That's right. And if you look back at Represent, you must be out of your fucking mind with Cool G Rap.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite joints too. I like cinematic shit.
Yeah.
And I was a big fan of that movie, Straight Outta Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm. That's what you sampled on there.
I did. You must be out of your fucking mind, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick your ass. Hey, you come here. All of them, just 3 different parts. But I used to watch that movie fucking every day back then, bugging. And what's crazy was Prince had a song called "Money Don't Matter Tonight,"
Mm-hmm.
and the cast of that movie was in the video.
Wow.
Yeah, just a little trivia.
That is trivia. That's new. That's news to me.
Yeah, definitely.
That's another legendary track that you produced in the real hip hop world. In the real hip hop world, because people automatically, when they think of throwback Fat Joe, they think Flow Joe. But You Must Be Out of Your Fucking Mind is my favorite from Joe back in the day.
Yeah, that was hard. That was hard. And was Apache on there too?
Yep.
That's right. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace to him.
That's right. Because I was working on Apache's album around that time too.
Yeah. And we've heard the stories already that you saved Joe's life. We've heard that already. I don't want to make you tell that same story again. You always have to tell the same stories, and that's something I always try to find in doing my interviews is different stories to be told. And you don't need to reiterate that story again. But something that would be interested in telling a story with is this picture that I have here, and it's the picture on the D.I.T.C album covers as well. You see him. Is this picture right here, which I'm going to show to the audience, which is everyone in the room. You're at the table, of course, with the whole.
Mm-hmm.
The story behind this photo. Where was this at?
That might have been at Tommy Boy's offices.
Mm.
Yeah, that might have been at Tommy Boy's offices, I believe.
Classic. As the whole crew in there, and then there's another one here. I believe you're on a rooftop. This has to be in New York City.
Yep. New York, somewhere in New York in Midtown. Mm-hmm. Usual suspects.
Mm-hmm. Classics. Those are the two classic photos I have for the audience here tonight from which you were in with D.I.T.C.
Right.
Could D.I.T.C get a documentary?
Yeah, anybody can get a documentary.
Mm-hmm. You think that you guys would go forward with it? Because I think D.I.T.C, they need a lot more credit than you guys get. You guys were responsible for a lot of the beats on these hit albums in the 90s.
Yeah, that's true. Facts. Maybe one day the story will be told.
I hope it is.
Yeah,
I think that documentary, because that you look at the documentaries that you have here now with Straight Outta Compton, that movie, you look at these hip hop movies, they usually do well and people, they show up for it. It's hip hop history.
Right.
And having the collective of you guys would be crazy.
Well, we'll see what happens. I know that there was talk about doing one. What was this? What did OC say when you asked him?
I didn't ask him about a D.I.T.C documentary. It just came to my mind just now. Okay. I just asked him about the Big L documentary. But when was this that there was supposed to be one?
There was talk about one maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. Amongst the members. But it's a whole nother ballpark, man.
I'd love to see it. I would love to see it happen in the future. You've been doing well during COVID. You're still working, still doing your thing. I saw that you were on Dave Chappelle with Talib Kweli. How was that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was dope. To hear Dave Chappelle tell me that he loves stunts, blunts, and hip hop. And he's reciting some of the rhymes to me. When people do that, then you believe them. It's not just considered small talk. When somebody can say, "Yo, da 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 da," and start reciting your joints from over 20 years ago. So the love was genuine. And Dave's a good brother. I've been out to his house a few times, and in fact, me and Talib, we're gonna work on Gotham too, and we might record some of the tracks out there where Dave stays at, the studios out there.
Oh, wow.
Just for the vibe.
Wow. Yeah, now the whole Gotham thing started, you were just sending Talib beats.
Yeah, I sent them
you sent them files.
I sent them a folder, like 10 beats. Mm-hmm. And then when I flew out there, for his interview, People's Party. I said, yo, which one did you do? He was like, one? Oh no, I rounded like 9 of them joints. You know, and that was the premise that led to the Gotham album.
And in preparation and recording your beats, you went back to your discography, Stunt Blunts and Hip Hop, Hatred, Passions, and Infidelity. You also listened to Raekwon's Only Built for Cuban Links. And there we have with Gotham. Gotham, in my opinion, it's in the top albums of the year. And that's not hard to say because I usually base myself off of the real hip hop.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm not gonna be throwing some young kids album in there, hip hop album of the year. Trust me.
Yeah, but you know, Mac, you don't want to, like you say, you don't want to sound like a hater.
Yeah.
But you know, it's not an age thing, Max. If somebody young makes something that's hot, you're gonna say it.
Yeah.
And I will too. It's not an age thing. You know, it's just a matter of how you approach the art, how you approach the craft. You know, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Did you listen to J. Cole's new album?
Not the whole thing. I like it.
You like it?
Yeah. J. Cole, he's nice with the blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. He had to remind people with that little video clip he did on LA Leakers.
Yeah, he did. He's nice. Trust me, he's nice.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
The thing with me is that there's certain times where J. Cole doesn't do his normal thing, and that's for me when he goes on
a normal thing in your opinion.
Rapping over, okay, his older mixtapes. That's his older thing, in my opinion, which I like. That's what made me a J. Cole fan. Him going on a song such as Wet Dreams or Firing Squad. But when I hear him on a trap beat, it just makes me nuts because I feel J. Cole, you don't need to be on a trap beat. Tell me a story. Tell me a story on an actual hip hop beat.
Well, maybe he's just showing his range. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, that's how I look at it. He's just showing us his range. You know, I can do boom bap, and when necessary, I can do the new shit. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of people can't move between those two worlds like that.
They can't.
So, shouts out to Mr. Cole and his new album.
What's another album that's impressed you this year so far that you could think of?
That last Benny the Butcher album. I forgot the name. You know, I like Benny. Like what he doing. Bars, beats.
Conway too. He's doing his thing.
Oh, definitely. The Machine. Mm-hmm. Definitely. The whole movement.
The whole movement. Now that's real hip hop. That's what should be playing on these stations that say this is where hip hop lives. That's what should be playing. But you know, I'm not the programming director there. If I was, you'd be hearing the Gotham, and you'd probably be hearing the Cactus album played on there. People probably wouldn't even know what that sounds like.
Yeah, well, shit. You know, when you leave, you know, once you graduate, you know, hopefully, you know, your next platform may be even bigger and better.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Trust me, I don't miss being there in the summers. When you were there, it was so hot. They never put on the AC in those stations for us in the summers.
Cheap bastards.
Yeah.
All that money they make.
Yeah, I know. I'm in debt for them for years until I pay off the student debt for going there for 4 years, and they couldn't even put the. Yeah.
Don't get in line. Fuck you.
Oh man, and they couldn't even put on the AC for any of my guests and myself as we're working hard trying to provide content for everyone down at the basketball courts and in the dorms. My goodness, I don't miss that at all. But Gotham, congratulations on that. And what makes, in your opinion, we know Black Star, we know the classics that Talib has give us over the years. What makes him one of the greatest MCs of all time, in your opinion?
The metaphors and his content, you know, the bar structure, and he drops jewels, but he doesn't come off as preachy. Some people do it, and it's like, you know, you should do this, you should do that, you should, you know what I mean. But with Talib, I don't get that from him. You know, he gives you his perspective. Whether you agree with it or not. And that's one of the things I like about Talib. Always have.
Yeah, one of the greatest of all time. It's, it's amazing that you guys are collaborating and you got Gotham and Gotham 2 is on the way. That's news to me. I want people to stay tuned for that.
I want to drop that here first with you.
Yeah.
You know, we're about 5 songs deep already.
5 songs. Is it going to be a similar sound to Gotham, the first one?
Yep.
Similar. Okay.
That's right.
I like that. Yeah. It's going to be boom bap. I know that, which I like. So.
Hey, I can only be me, fam.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't want to hear Diamond D on a trap beat. I don't want to hear it.
I feel you.
Just like all these other rappers out here who I like. I don't want to hear them on trap beats. Get on boom bap.
Right.
I want to hear it because that's true school. That's a true art form out here. Right. I want to see rappers actually freestyle.
And a good example of that is the song with Twista and Afro.
Mm-hmm.
It's a boom bap track, but you know they still spitting in double time.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So that would be an excellent example. Not trying to pat myself on the back or anything, but
no,
that would just it just happens to be a good example.
It is
of what somebody can do who spits rapid fire and you know still be true to the boom bap sound. You know, and that was one of my favorite joints on the Diam Piece too.
Mm-hmm. Is there any other artist that you're tapped into similar to David Bars who's coming up that's nice that you got your eyes on, who may not be known on a wide stage yet?
Yeah, my artist Snooze from Harlem. He rhymed on the intro of the Diam Piece too.
That's right.
Yeah, he's another one. Special.
He got an album coming out?
Yeah, we do have an album ready for him. But I'm gonna go back in there and revamp some tracks. And but yeah, he's definitely another one. Mm-hmm. Same as David Bars. You know, young boys who really have an extraordinary pen game. You know what I mean? But at the same time, they respect the culture as far as keeping boom bap alive. But they also do the trap shit too.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I mean? Yeah, Dave Bars does the trap shit. Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, like I said, yo, if you can do both, do both. Because it's all about bringing people in to you and your brand. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's my take on
it. A great example who dominated that area was Fat Joe.
Yeah.
You know, he did his thing with the mainstream, but he can, at the end of the day, go back and do rock shit with D.I.T.C.
Right. Yeah, Joe's in that space.
Yeah.
You know, there it is. You know,
yeah.
He's in that space. He can make the big radio bangers. You know, and still stay true to his roots and rock out on some boom bap shit. You know, so shouts out to Fat Joe, of course.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Shouts out to everybody.
Yeah.
In the crew. The few of us who were here from the early to mid 90s who are still doing our thing. You know what I mean? Shit ain't easy, but you know, if you got a good brand and you put out quality music, you can do it. You know, that's why I'm sitting here before you right now.
That's right.
You know, people love stunts plus in hip hop, but if that was the last thing I did, I might not be here talking to you right now.
Oh, well, you would be, because I do reach out to rappers who haven't unfortunately gave us any new music, but you know,
you get what I'm saying though, man.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I mean, you know, it's always dope when you can say, yeah, I got a joint out that just dropped a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Even though Stunts Plus in Hip Hop dropped at the top of 93 to end of 92. So, you know, for me to still be here releasing new music, is definitely a blessing. And you know, I've earned it.
That's a fact. A legend in the game. Forget the TikTok rappers. Let's recognize Diamond D for his greatness. Let's look at the up and coming artists such as David Bars and Snooze, because those are the people who are going to be really pushing the culture forward as far as the true art form of hip hop of what we love. And whoever tunes into this interview and who's tuned in now live, if you love that real hip hop, this is where it's at.
Right. No doubt.
And Diamond D, I know you said that you have your own album coming at the end of the year here, working on Diam Piece 3. You got Gotham 2 on the way. Is there anything else you would love to let the audience know here?
Yeah, I'm doing like a R&B hip hop album.
Oh, okay.
My man Blake Moses.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, he's real dope. It's not quite neo soul. Think more like if I had to put it in terms like when Mary J. Blige came out.
Okay, I like that.
Right, how she was an R&B singer, but the beat still banged.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's the 411? The You Remind Me remixes she did.
You Gotta Believe.
Right. Every Day It Rains.
Oh, a Mary's Joint.
Mm-hmm. So that's the vibe I'm on with Blake Moses, and you know the shit is really dope, yo. You know, I think the fans are going to fuck with it.
You know who else was good at doing that the same way as Intro?
Yeah, that's right. Let Me Be the One.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
I believe the beat came from Ed O.G. and the Bulldogs.
Well, Bohannon.
Okay.
We don't know if they sampled Ed's record or the original, but yeah, it had that hip hop vibe, and that's what the Blake Moses shit is going to be, like that.
That's going to be great. This is, see what I mean? This is bringing back that 90s sound and experimenting with a sound that people usually don't do anymore, and that's why we still need producers like Diamond D in the game to keep that alive.
Appreciate that, fam.
You already know Diamond D, one of the greatest of all time, no debate at all, especially for me or anyone out there, what you've done for the culture. We appreciate you always, and the classics that you give us and the new music that you give us as well, a breath of fresh air in this mumble rap culture. But we're here. We are here. We celebrate you. Make sure they follow you on Instagram at Diamond ITC.
Diamond D.I.T.C.
That's what it is. Diamond I.T.C. Okay,
is one word. Diamond D.I.T.C.
Okay, yeah. Because I believe when I was looking before, I thought it was Diamond and ITC, so it's Diamond D.I.T.C.
Correct.
There we go.
No doubt, Max.
All right, Diamond D, I appreciate you for coming on the show. And once you're finished with Gotham 2 or the solo albums that you have coming, we'd love to have you back on to promote it. And anytime you need any records played, I throw them right in the rotation for you.
Yeah, no doubt, Max. Nothing but love for you, fam. I appreciate it.
No doubt. And take care. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'm looking forward to the new music.
Okay, man. No doubt. Stay up, all right?
Yeah, you too, Diamond.
Soon. Okay. All right.